Chat, what's good? What's good? Welcome back to an episode of Kingsley TV. Your boy, Aaron Kingsley Brown, obviously. I'm here back again with another live stream. Give you guys a minute to get into the live chat. But today, obviously, if you can see by the thumbnail, we're gonna be discussing Athlos. Did you guys watch Athlos? I heard it was a party. I heard it was lit. I heard it's a game changer. Is this the future of pro track and field? You guys let me know. We're going to figure that out. We're going to break it down. As people get into the chat, we got somebody already. Ayana Nicole, she says, no, it's not the future. We're going to discuss why. First of all, we're going to recap it, get your thoughts on it, and then we'll discuss at the end of the chat. Hi, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, Saints. Hey, are you a Saints fan? Happy to be with y'all again. What's up, Melanie the Broker? You're consistent on here, which is good to see. It's good to see. Okay, Satoshi Sinchi. What's up? My boy Ree. Yes, sir. Favorite YouTuber. All right. Cool. Let's get right into it, y'all. I got a lot of stuff to cover. Let me go to my notes. So first off, let's talk about the best events. Guys, let me know in the chat if you guys watched. First of all, let me know if you watched. Second off, let me know what was your favorite event. Let me share my screen. Okay. Results. So we kicked it off with the women's hurdles. Obviously, I was going for my teammate, Tania. But you know what? Everybody's off the couch with it, so can't really read into the results too much, but Masai got it done. She got revenge for last year. I know she was hot last year when she didn't win. She said that I think it was Camacho Quinn that won, and she said that she false started, and there was a little beef there. But she came back, got her 60 bands, and her Tiffany crown was on stage doing her thing. You know, Grace Stark got second, and then Alicia got third, and they got their bands right away. So that's dope. That's dope. Long jump. Obviously, they jumped in Times Square on Thursday, but then they had the final four in the stadium in front of the crowd. Tara Davis did what she does. I mean, look at this progression. Everybody, this looked like it was going to be something soft. Like, okay, they're just clowning around. They're doing their best out there. It's the end of the season. Nobody's really in shape. But then she just pulls out a 7:13, which is like, wow. Crazy. I don't know how she does that on the last jump every time, but she's clutch. And then you got the 100. Here I was going for Kayla, another one of my Star Athletics teammates. She got third, so a little 10K. Not a bad payday, you know, especially when you get it right away in your bank account. She ran 11:22, but Brittany, what's good with you? Are you peaking for this meet? This is crazy. This is the second edition of the Athlos meet. She came around 10.99. Crazy. Jay just got out, bro. Let me see the splits. She actually didn't get out as hard as I thought she did, but she was winning. 324, 424, 521, 619, and then right around, what was it? Damn, Brittany got in the last little bit. That's crazy. But yeah, she was winning the whole race, and then got caught in the line. But 10.99, 11:01, good runs for October. 800, Keely got her revenge, broke the meet record. 156. That's a solid run. That might have been faster what she ran at Worlds. I don't know for sure, but I'd have to check that. Mile, Faith came, did her thing, like she always does. Then we had the 2. This one was wild. She PR'd 21.89. I mean, she had a 1.9, so that's like perfect win, but still. 21.89. I know it was cold out there. Everyone that was out there said it was cold. It's New York City in October. 21.89, bro. I know she doubled, so she was probably feeling good. She was hot. She was ready to go. Got another 60 bands on the line. So she came home with 120K. And you know, she got it paid right away with the Cash App promo. Athlos made sure we knew that they're getting paid right away. So shout out to Brittany Brown, man. They called her Brittany Crown. I might have to call her that too, because 120K this meet. Last year she won the 2, beat Gabby. So that's another 60. And then I think she got second in the 100 last year. So that's what, 25. So quick math, that's what, $205,000 in 2 Athlos meets, bro. Think about that. Think about how many Diamond League races you'd have to run in order to make that kind of money. Y'all telling me that this isn't a game changer, but the prize money says otherwise. Need some of that for the men, though. But, hopefully Grand Slam pulls it out. And Athlos, they said they might expand to guys in the future. So stay tuned for that. But, hey, the women are getting paid. At least somebody in the sport's getting paid. This is good to see. A Navy Battle 22-2. That's a really good run. You would think that would get it done in October, but, good run for her. And then the women's 4. This was the event I was looking forward to most because the rematch between Nasser and Paulino. Times weren't hot. This is what I was kind of expecting. I might have expected like a 49 mid, wishful thinking, maybe even a 48 high if they're, on demon time and they really just want to come out here and run. But Paulino got the dub, 50.07. Nasser at least went for it. I know she ran 50.9, which is way off of what she's been running, but she went for it this time. She actually got out. Let's look at these splits. Look at that, 23.88 to the 200. Paulino was 24.18. So Nasser was out of there. This is how I thought she was going to run at Worlds, where she just go out like a bat out of hell, and if she dies, but she ran a little more conservative. She ran 48.1, so she didn't run slow. But I thought she was going to run some guy time through the 300. But then you can see by the 300, Paulino's right on her back, and then that was all she wrote. Ran almost a second faster than that final 100. But that's the results. It was a quick meet, quick in and out. You guys let me know. What'd you guys think of the meet before we move on? Kyrie said he was there and it was a movie. All I've heard was it was a movie. All I've heard is how amazing this meet was. So I'm kind of regretting that I didn't go, to be honest. Alexis Ohanian commented on one of my comments on Anson's video when he was talking about Grand Slam, and he invited me. He said, you guys got to come check it out. I didn't go, but I obviously watched on TV, and everybody that was there said it was crazy vibes. They have a DJ in the crowd getting it lit. This is how it should be. You know what I mean? Make it like a carnival, make it an experience. It just doesn't have to be the same old, just, AAU type meet. Let's jazz it up. This is professional track and field. This is the best athletes in the world. Long jump was the dopest because it was on the stage. It looked dope. I didn't know how they were going to perform because it was so close to the stage, and I don't know if their peripherals are going to be off, but being on the stage is kind of crazy. You're really in the middle of the track. A lot of times field is off to the side, and a lot of people don't really get to see the jumps and whatnot. You got to kind of turn your head and be like, oh, there's another jump going on. But they're center stage. So that's dope. I heard it was cold. Yeah, I heard it was cold. I mean, it's New York City in October, so I bet it was. But there are still some good performances. Can't wait to go next time. Hey, I might have to go too. We just for the weather and had a ball. Hey, man. I heard it was a fun thing to just go and be in the crowd, not even to perform. Obviously, you want to go and perform and get money, but just to go there and turn up, have fun in the crowd. Why not? Wait, what was the payouts for each placing? That's a good question. I know the top 3, 60K is first, 25K is second, 10K is third. After that, I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find that. Athlos prize money payouts. Let's share my screen again. Stop. Okay, my bad. I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, don't forget to smash that like button. Get this out to other people on YouTube. Let them know it's a good stream. And like this video. Share it with your friends. Tell them to come through. Chat it up. Let me see if I could. Oh, okay. So you got 60, 25, 10, 8, 5, 25. So pretty good. 6th place, 2,500. That kind of drops off a little bit. You don't want to get last out there, but 60, 25, 10, 8, 5. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. Athlos was nice, but it seemed like more of an exhibition than competition, kind of Harlem Globetrotter-ish. I mean, I feel you. The fact that it was in October, a lot of people might feel like this is an exhibition. And that's all, I talked to Anson a lot about this. We went back and forth. He doesn't like the messaging, but I'm going to get into it. But the messaging before last year was kind of almost like charity for the women. Like, oh, they finally have women in the spotlight. And, you know, other sports, yeah, they've been disenfranchised, but in track and field, it's pretty balanced. And, you know, we all get paid based on performance. Maybe back in the day, I don't know, a long time ago, but like, as far as I've seen it, it's always been pretty balanced. So he didn't like that. And I kind of understand, you know, other sports. Yeah. Maybe like WNBA, NBA, there's no parity. You know, obviously the NBA contracts dwarf what the WNBA players get, but the league's been around longer. It makes more revenue. But in track and field, it's pretty balanced. But I feel like this year they changed that messaging, and it was more like a celebration. Like, we got the best women in the planet and we're going to showcase them. And that's the kind of messaging I feel like they should go with, because we do have some dope women. We do, like, think about our stars, the stars of this league. You know, they chose a lot of great stars to headline it. A lot of the great stars came out to compete. A lot of gold medalists, a lot of people with a lot of following. You know, they built the backs off of, you know, Tara Davis-Woodhall and sha'carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas. And, you know, Melissa was supposed to compete, but she was still there. She had her signing booth and stuff. So she made an appearance. She had an interview on TV and stuff. So they're promoting and leveraging the stars like they should be. And we have a lot of stars on the women's side, especially in America. So that was good to see. So exhibition, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this year they stepped it up. Last year, okay, I get that, but I think this is just the future model that we got to go towards more entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, not just focusing on the time, like, oh my God, what time are they going to run? Blah, blah, blah. Like, let's focus on the competition. Let's focus on the audience experience and the entertainment value. And I think they checked off the boxes. Like, we had some fast times. Brittany Brown literally PR'd. She ran 21:89. That's one of the fastest times in the world. If I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, I only remember Melissa and Julian running faster. So, quick maths, I think she ran the third fastest time in the world in October. So it's hard to say that's an exhibition when you're running that fast. Tara jumped 7:13. I'm pretty sure that tied the world lead, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going off the dome here, but y'all can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But I mean, these are some standout performances. Keely went 156. So exhibition, I don't know about that, bro. Yes, Brittany was peaking during this meet because she started her season late because of injury. Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, she still had a long season though. She ran the Diamond League final. She ran Worlds. Yeah, I guess she started the season late. So yeah, that makes sense. I believe she was supposed to be in Grand Slam, but I don't think she ever competed there because of her injury. So I guess, yeah, she kind of peaked around this time. That must be a blessing to get paid right away. Hey, that's why I say this is the future of the sport, bro. Once I saw that, I mean, I get it. They're all taking shots subliminally at Grand Slam. I don't like that. I think they should work together. I honestly think they should form together a league. Just form Athlos and Grand Slam, go together and just take over. Why not? But paying right away, you deserve to flex a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, think about how long. I mean, not a lot of athletes talk about this. I had a tweet that I put out there that I'll show later, talking about how Grand Slam's taking all the heat for paying late, but like the Diamond League, they've been sitting around paying late for years, for over a decade, and nobody says anything because no one's the wiser. No one actually knows these things, because very rare is it for an athlete to actually call them out on it so they can get away with it. And they're paying like a fifth of the amount of prize money. You know, imagine waiting 3 months just to get paid $4,000, which, by the way, gets taxed, because when you compete in those European countries, they tax you before you get it. So less the taxes and less your agent fee. So you made 4 bands in, let's call it May, and then you get paid out in what? August, September? And it's like $2,900 by the time you touch it. Versus this meet where it just goes straight to your bank account. And I'm sure, you know, it's going to the Cash App, right to the athlete. I don't know how that's going to work with paying the agent. I guess they're just gonna have to trust that the athlete's gonna pay their portion. I mean, we all know what they're getting, so it's not like you're gonna hide it from your agent. And you know, the agents like to get paid; they're gonna get their cut. But it should go to the athletes first. Why not? It's our money, and then we pay it out. That's how business works, you know. Instead, it goes to the agent, they sit on it, and then they give it to you, and then it's like, all right, I already took my fee, whatever. It's just sports backwards, man. We need to revolutionize this, and this Cash App thing. We need that across the board. All our meets need to be like that. We know it's possible now. I don't want to hear this drug test excuse now. How is Athlos able to do it then? What about the drug testing there? What about the results there? Now what? They did it with like 5 times as much money. So this is going to build so much confidence for 2026 season for sure. I mean, I'm excited to see the team leagues next year. I want to see what they're going to do with it. I love the Grand Slam concept, though. Hopefully he gets fully bailed out and athletes can get the other half of their money. I mean, I have faith. The same day that he said that they got the half to pay out to the athletes is when I got it. So at least they came through on that. And I have every grain of faith that they're going to find somebody that believes in the vision. Especially like seeing something like this on TV with Athlos. I know it's a different league. It's all women, but it's still track and field. So you can say, hey, we got those same type of stars on the women's side. Like, think about how many athletes that were in Grand Slam that also did Athlos. Like, you got Messiah Russell, Gabby Thomas, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. You know, these girls are in Athlos, but they also did Grand Slam. So you could say, hey, we got those same type of women. A lot of the women that ran in other events as challengers and stuff like that, they were in Grand Slam. And then you got all the guys, the star power of the guys too. So seeing Athlos success just helps the overall gravitas of the sport. Like, it makes us look more glamorous, like something to get behind. So I think this is a good thing. And that's why I'm like, why are they going back and forth with each other? Or like, why is Athlos taking shots at Grand Slam? Like we're all in this together. We're just trying to revolutionize the sport. There's more than enough opportunity for everyone to succeed and disrupt the sport and revolutionize it. So let's just work together. Like, that's my point of view. But I really have faith that Grand Slam is going to be back and we're going to get paid all the money in the world. But who knows? This is business. We'll see. No, honestly, it's an event. I was trying to tell people it's more spectacle than meat, but that's how major sports are. That's fair. Every sport has halftime show, a DJ, a crowd announcer. Like, we need that. That's facts. That's facts. Like, think about it. Just having Ciara headline the meet last year, Meg the Stallion. A lot of casuals who are just fans of their music might pull up just to get a ticket just to say, hey, I want to see a free, or not free, but like a lot cheaper concert. I'm sure seeing Ciara perform here or seeing Meg the Stallion perform at the meet is going to be a lot cheaper to buy a ticket than it is to see them in a stadium or an arena. So then on top of that, you get some dope track meet going on and you can be a fan of that. And you got a vibe in the crowd. You know, the DJ's going off. They had like tequila being passed out and stuff. So it was a vibe, man. I wish there were rounds instead of one-offs. Seems like vibes, athletics, 6 runners was also not the best. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's a work in progress. It's year 2. So all the criticism I think is good. And that's the only way we're going to get better. Same thing with Grand Slam. Like, when people are down on it, like, you expect to be perfect out the gate. Like, come on now. There's still flaws in Diamond League and they've been around for over a decade, you know? Amy Hunt for dealt with. I feel like her silver was lucky, no shade. How was it lucky? I mean, we can't judge these athletes based on how they run at Athlos. Some people were still in shape. Some people were not. I mean, it just is what it is. It's not a fluke. Like, come on now. Not this late in the season. One race is good enough, like Diamond League. Yeah, I mean, some of them doubled. Like Brittany Brown doubled. There's someone else who doubled too. I think it was Talu Smith. I think she doubled too. So if you got it in, you go ahead. But having the Grand Slam concept where everybody has to double at a meet this late in the season, nah. Y'all too proud as track fans. Oh, gotta let go of the tradition and look for the future. This is facts. This is facts. Track and field, more than any other sport, is like, we got to maintain the purity of the sport. No celebrating. Keep it the same model since the 1990s and 1980s. It's like, bro, get with the times, man. Like, we have so much competition competing for attention in this economy. You got social media. You got other sports. Okay. You got TikTok and all Instagram and all that stuff. Like, we got our phones in our pocket 24/7 being streamed, boom, boom, scrolling. Like, the fight for attention has never been fiercer. And you're trying to do the same old stuff that worked back in the day when all we had was a fatback TV and newspaper, you know, like, you had to rewind the videotape cassette. Like, how are we using that same model when the product to consumer model has changed drastically? since then. You know, we got to adapt with the times, and all the other leagues have done it. Look, like I always talk about this. Look at the NBA. The NBA has been making more and more money every year. They're getting higher and higher TV revenues, and yet they're still adapting, right? Because they recognize even though they're making record profit, they still have a problem with the regular season. So they have the NBA Cup now, the mid-season tournament. Why are they doing that? They have the play-in, so people play harder to get a higher seed, so they don't have to go to the play-in. Why are they doing that if they're so successful? Why don't they just maintain the purity of the sport? Why'd they even add the three-point line? You know, that wasn't always the thing, right? Why are they adapting the rules? You know, it's because they're trying to adapt the product and make it better to adapt with the times, make it more modern. This is what track has to do, man. Who is y'all? We, everyone. Facts. She never went sub 22 or sub 11. I mean, it's not just about times, bro. It's about competing. This is the track mentality. It's just like comparing the times. Like, what she got the silver medal at World Championships. She beat who she needed to beat. She ran down Sharika. Like, how are you going to tell me that's a fluke? Nope, I ain't included in that. Huh? Says she peaked. If you run a 4x1 with different people from different, if you had to run a 4x1 with people from different countries, who do you choose? Ooh, I'm gonna say my teammates at Star Athletics. That's the easy one. And honestly, all they really have to do is just slide beyond the team that they have now. 3 of the 4 were already Star Athletics anyways. I really wish they showed the concert on YouTube. I wanted to turn up to it. Low key, I did too. And I was looking forward to it. But this is back-to-back years, and I should have known that last year they didn't show it. And it's probably like a streaming thing. Like maybe they have to pay the artist more if it's being shown on TV versus just being shown in front of the crowd. But I wanted to at least see a snippet. They could at least show a little taste of what the vibe was like. It'd be cool if USATF partnered with the NFL or you. I've been saying that for a long time. Have the combine, the NFL combine, merge or partner with track and field. We're speed. All people care about is a 40-yard dash and stuff at the combine. Let's merge. Have a little crossover. Yo, Aaron, what are some good workouts for saying? We're not gonna get into workouts here. That is not what the topic is. And I don't know. I'm not a coach. So find you a good sprint coach. They'll give you some great workouts to do. Okay, let's get into my notes here. Did I make any banners? I did. I didn't even do it. Hold on. There we go. I didn't put my banners up. While I'm getting this ready, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. If you watched Athlos, what was your favorite event? Let me go back to my notes. Okay. Okay. First topic. Well, next topic. Things that they did right. So I had long jump in Times Square. I mean, just think about the visuals, bro. How dope is it to run in the middle of New York City? Bright lights in the background. Think about those pictures, the video, like just the aesthetic of like jumping in the middle of the city. They do it a lot in Europe where they have these street meets and stuff like that. And, you know, we have Boston and what's the other? Atlanta with the Adidas meets, but it's not New York City. It's not the bright lights. It's not Times Square. Like that was a great move that he did. Let me see if I can find that photo. YouTube stream. Nope. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. I can't find what I had. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right, check out this photo. So let me take this down for a second. You got the Athlos top left with the jumper right on stage. You know, you got jumper in the top 2. Background, they had the fireworks. Look at this. Look at Tara. Look at that backdrop. You can't tell me that doesn't look dope, man. If you want to make field events more glamorous, give them more time to shine, this is the way you do it. Put them in somewhere dope. And then obviously they had them in the stadium on day 2 so that they could still be in the crowd and be a part of that. But they made them feel special. So Field events deserve a lot of love. They kind of are the stepchild of track and field and don't get a lot of shine a lot of times. But hey, man, they did their thing for long jump, so it showed it's possible. Ciara, I mean, having celebrities, I'm telling you, it works. It's an easy way to make your event look like glamorous, like it matters. Have celebrities pull up, and then more long jump stuff, and then the concert. So you could just tell a bit of the vibe through this photo. They did their thing. That's something that they did right. Celebrities and making it feel like the place to be. I got a video for y'all. Which one should I start with? Let's do this one right here.
Have a great night. Thank you. It's history. This is day one of Rock starting out.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
Look at him go! Look at him go! She's flying!
All the people who are running here, you guys are amazing, bro. We want to be just like you. Do you want to be an athlete when you grow up? Yeah. Oh, man. 60K in my pocket, a big old crown in my head. For the end of the season.
Can I try your crown on?
Of course you can.
You see what we doing, baby? Come on now.
I'm upset.
If you're not here, you're not cool. You heard it here. Athlos 2025, Athlos 2026, Athlos 3035. We gonna be in the building. Holla. We outside.
We're watching the 200-meter right now, Athlos event.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the running. The running. The running. They're absolutely zooming right now. If I have to go against these women, I'm getting cooked. Come on now. No, I need you to race me, baby.
I don't think you got that money, man.
I gotta get my money up.
New York City, baby.
New York is awesome. Bing bong.
I mean, you can just feel the energy from that video, you know? That's the way you promote the sport in America. You know, if you want to appeal to Americans, you got to make it more hype. You got to add a little pizzazz, you know, like make it seem like it's something that will go viral on social media, something that people are missing out on. Give them a little FOMO. And I think they did a good job of representing that. Made me feel jealous, made me feel like, damn, I should have pulled up. I should have went. And, you know, that's what you want to do with the audience. You want to make them say, okay, next year I want to get a ticket. I want to fly up to New York and pull up to this meet. So that's another thing that I feel like they did right. The intro videos and the graphics on TV. I don't know why other meets don't do this, but the fact that they introduced everybody individually and they got their own, or they're coming out to the songs, whatever, and they had the smoke, it got a little time to dance and stuff like that. Like, you don't just have to do it on the line. Why don't we have it like we do it a little bit at World Championships and the Olympics and stuff when they come out? But what about like the pro meets? This is where you have more time to actually like show your individuality, show that you're lit, you turn up, whatever. Like, anyways, they gave them the opportunity to do that. A lot of the athletes, you know, they showed their personality, their dance moves. They show that they're comfortable, ready to have fun, ready to turn it up. I think that's dope. Makes it, again, something that people feel like they got to pull up and watch. The red carpet. So they had some intros where you could show off your fit and stuff like that. And, you know, Noah started all the walkouts and stuff like that a couple years ago at some of the Diamond Leagues and Continental Tours and the Adidas games and stuff like that. But this was a true like red carpet where you pull up, there's a lot of cameras, and, you know, Grand Slam did their thing with the fits as well. But I think that's something that all the meets should have. And athletes want to show up, show their fits. Other sports do it. If you don't, that's not your personality, cool. Don't do it. Just stay at the hotel or pull up and do your thing. But a lot of the athletes want to show that. And this is track and field. We don't get a whole 60 to 90 minutes of gameplay where we can show our personality. It's like you get a 5-10 minute window, maybe a little bit more if you did some pre-game interviews, or if you win the race and you do a post-game interview or post-race interview or post-event interview. But other than that, that's all your time, all the TV time you get. So anytime you could add a little bit more to that, where you can get to know who these athletes are, showcase your style and all that stuff, you got to add that in. Adds more for the broadcast too. So you don't just have to stuff event and make it like a circus where it's like, okay, now we got the long jump. Now we got the shot put. Now we got the pole vault. Okay, now some random race, a 5K. Okay, now we got the 400. Now we got the 100. Like, it's just like, every meet is the same model. Just throw event, and then that's it. Like there's other ways to entertain. So yeah, adding the red carpet in, I think they did a good job with that. Celebration of women messaging, I really like that. Like I said, last year you could argue that they're making it seem like it's a charity thing, like, oh, we're coming to save the women, you know, because they've been struggling, and in track and field the women just don't get paid fairly. It's like a lot of the athletes, majority of athletes in track and field don't get paid very well. That's just the honest truth. So it's not a women or man thing. It's not a gender thing. And bringing that, like, we're saving women type of thing, messaging just didn't really land for a lot of people. But this year it's like, okay, we got a lot of dope women in this sport and we want to highlight and showcase them. That is the direction they should go, because that makes sense. Cool. He even said before, like, he has plans to slowly build this thing out and include the men down the road, but he says that the women punch harder than the men right now. How can I argue with that? They have a lot of the women have great profiles, and whether, you know, it's because, you know, they look good, they're track women, and you got a lot of guys that want to, you know, holler at them and whatever, or they just have fun, bubbly personalities and they show up more, or they're just dope women, like you said, you know, for whatever reason, there's a lot more star women, particularly in America, than there are men. And not a lot of the guys that are at the top really show their personality. So, you know, you got Noah Lyles and stuff like that, but a lot of the guys will hate on Noah and be like, oh, he's too extra and he does this. And I'm not saying like everything that Noah does is dope. Like, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the anime stuff and some of the stuff, but I like the fact that he trash talks. I like the fact that he does, you know, his fits and stuff like that. And even his anime stuff, even though that's not for me as a, you know, a grown man and a father, but at least he's showing his personality. Obviously they loved it in Japan. That's where it's from. And people around the world do like it and they buy with it. So it is what it is. At least he's trying something versus just, I'm just going to be the fastest man, show up on the track, do my thing, and then leave. And nobody knows your personality outside of the fact that you're fast. Like, it is what it is, you know? I'm sure a lot of people in the NBA hate on LeBron. They're like, oh, LeBron with his Taco Tuesday, he's too goofy and, you know, rapping songs, wrong lyrics. And like, they probably say he's too extra, but he's the face of the league by far, you know? Noah is the face of the league for the guys, or face of the track and field. He shows his personality. Anyways, celebration of women, right messaging. I think they should stick to that. The VIP couches, a little touch, but that was dope. Like, that's a true VIP experience. And I heard that they had the tequila bar and stuff like that down there where you can get bottle service, and, you know, the DJ was there, and a lot of the celebrities are actually in this VIP. It kind of feels like the club. Like, you're getting your own booth, your own table. That's dope. You want the celebrities to pull up, make them feel like a celebrity. Treat them as they should be. You know, sometimes they have like the boxes up top at these Diamond League meets, like the bigger ones. You know, I've seen it at Brussels and Zurich and stuff like that. But like, for the most part, you're just pretty much in the crowd with everybody else. So if you want the VIPs to show up, treat them like a VIP. And having the couch down at a trackside, nah. It's like sitting courtside of the NBA game. That's dope. Another thing that they did well was their tribute to the GOAT of women's sprinting, the greatest 100-meter sprinter we've ever seen, in my opinion.
There it is.
I mean, for me, I love that. Shelly Ann is one of the athletes that I've always respected in my entire career. She's a dope person, cool person to chop it up with consistently. Like, she's been doing this thing. She won her first Olympics in 2008. We're in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Quick math, that's 17 years of just being on the top. So she deserves that. She deserves her flowers. And a lot of times in our sport, I feel like we don't send off our stars and our legends off properly. Like, they kind of just fade away. Like, all right, they just don't run anymore. But someone of her stature deserved a send-off where we could just recognize her for her greatness. And as small as this was, you know, giving her her own crown, letting her, you know, talk to the crowd and stuff like that. She was even promoting the meet, being on TV with Alexis and some of the interviews. I think she was on CBC or CBS, Good Morning America or whatever it's called. You know, just give her some time to, you know, highlight her career, look back on it, feel good about it, show some of her greatest moments, greatest hits, run it back. You know, let the fans appreciate her. I think that was dope. So I also have Serena presenting. So I don't know if you guys saw, but the person who gave her that crown, Serena Williams, Alexis Ohanian, has the privilege of being married to arguably the greatest female athlete of all time. I think it's big.
There it is.
You can make an argument certainly for Serena Williams. I'm not going to hear any complaints from me from that, if that's your opinion, but yeah, Serena being there to present. You know, a lot of women have her as their icon, so being able to get a crown presented to you from her, I think that's a great honor. I would be like, oh, this is dope. What else did I have? Instant money. Okay, obviously you go to their page. Hold on, I have a graphic for that too. But you go to their page, and that's all you're seeing is how proud they are, as they should be, to pay the athletes right away. So crosses the line, gets notification from Cash App, 25 bands in your pocket to Grace Stark, 60 bands to Masai S. Russell. I know if that was me, I'm going to the club. I might buy a round for everybody in that thing. If I get 60 bands instantly, oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Because this is the thing. Most times when you make money, I've had times where I've made a lot of money from a meet. You know, I had bonuses, prize money, stuff like that, appearance fee, whatever. And it all accumulated to like a lot of money. But you got to wait like 2-3 months. It's like waiting for Christmas. It's delayed gratification. It's nice when it hits, but it's like it gets to a point where you forget you even got it. Obviously, if you're hurting for bills, then you're like anxiously waiting, like, all right, come on, clock's ticking. I can't pay my rent with IOUs. Landlord's about to kick me out. And then you're anxiously waiting. But a lot of times, if you're good and you can manage to go without it, you forget you even made that money. And then out of nowhere, 3-4 months later, you get a message from your agent saying, hey, the money finally came from, May, from June. And then you're like, oh, yeah, forgot I got that. And like I said, sometimes they take off their agent. Oh, they always take off their agent fee, but sometimes they take off taxes too. So when you get it, you're like, oh, I made 10 bands, but really it's like, 7,500, 6,800, depending on the country and their tax rate. But anyways, instant money, that's a game changer. I think that's underrated for how much that changes the game for athletes. Ask any athlete in track and field. They'll tell you the same thing, how important that is to have in this sport. Sponsors. Let me see if I had look at my graphics. Actually, let's do this one right here. The attention that this meet got from a lot of the big outlets. This one's Vogue with Brittany Brown giving her commentary. Let's just read that real quick. Athlos is more than just a track event. It's pioneering a new era in women's running. Well, that's just dope, and I hope it's going to be all running, not just women. For the sport and track and field, especially in America, I believe Athlos is showing the importance of evolution. Facts. Compensating athletes with great prize money, putting on a show that fans want to watch, and bringing in major brands and partners are all necessary steps for growth and advancement. Couldn't have said it better my damn self. Let's read that again. Showing the importance of evolution, goddammit. Evolution, change, try something new. We know the model has worked in the past. It usually works in Europe when, you go to your prestigious meets like Zurich and Brussels. They usually are sold out. Lausanne is another one. Any other Swiss meets, Belgium, maybe Germany, like Berlin's pretty packed. But there's only a handful of those meets that are still like thriving off that old model and the nostalgia, and they have the legacy, so they can do that. Those are the meets that have been around for decades. When my coach was running, my agent, Ronaldo Nehemiah, when he was running in the 80s, and I think he was even running in the 70s as a pro. From those times, they have a legacy. Those meets go back far back. These other meets, though, they don't have that same legacy. We got to change it up. evolution. We need to try new things. This is 2025, y'all, not 1985. And the problem is a lot of people that are meet organizers and putting on these events, or even the agents, they're from that era. So they're still thinking, yeah, I worked back in the day swimmingly. I made so much money. I made a killing. Everybody loved it. And they're just trying to relive that over and over and over. Run it back, run it back, run it back. We need some new energy in position of organization of, you know what I'm trying to say, organizational leads, you know, people in power, making decisions, calling the shots, or organizers. You know, we need to shuffle them up a little bit more, get some new energy in there, new ideas. And they're starting to, like, they finally are starting to promote on social media a lot. Like whoever runs the World Athletics page does a really good job. They have some banger posts now and then. And clearly they're getting the young millennials and Gen Zs to get involved with social media, and they're starting to do that and, you know, collab with athletes and stuff like that. But for a long time, they're gatekeeping it. Like they wouldn't even let us post the races. They would have us take it down so they can get all the little AdSense revenue themselves. But it's like, that's not the point. You're not going to thrive off that AdSense revenue or the little bit of followers and all the views, just trying to gatekeep that. You want to spread this thing as much as you can, spread the product around so that people actually know what's happening. How many people actually knew outside of track fans that the World Championships happened? But I bet you a lot more people who are casuals who didn't know about World Championships knew about Athlos because they saw that Ciara was going, or they saw that the New York Times covered it, or Vogue magazine, or they saw that Alexis Ohanian made the rounds. That's another thing that he did right that I was going to touch on. The marketing. He was on ESPN. He was on CBS. He was on podcasts. You know, he did Justin's podcast. He did Nightcap. He was talking to Shannon Sharp and stuff. He made the rounds and actually marketed this thing. How often do you see marketing for the World Championships? How often do you see marketing for the Diamond League in America? If nobody knows it happened, how are they going to watch? How are you going to attract new fans? It's just marketing to the same small group of track fans. And I know we're a loud minority. We are a minority. We're a small group. It's not a lot of track fans out there. And I know it feels like a lot because we're all, you know, yelling at each other and we have this echo chamber and we're all tweeting and blah, blah, blah. And events feel like, oh my God, everybody cares about this, but it's not. I'm just be honest, y'all. We can grow this thing way bigger than it is. And a lot of the messaging that Alexis said lands. He was like, how do we have all these great stars, great events at the Olympics, and then we have to wait another 4 years until it's relevant again? Like, what are you doing in between that? How are we monetizing this? How are we leveraging these athletes before, you know, they run out of their prime? Because 4 years is a long time in track and field. You don't know if it's going to be the same people making it year after year. It's very rare, especially in the more competitive countries, mainly America. Yeah, usually only get one Olympics, maybe two if you're lucky. Going beyond that, that's legendary stuff. So this messaging right here, I'm glad it was said in the Vogue magazine. I hope a lot of people, the organizers that put on these meets, take note. They did have a lot of sponsors, so they highlighted that, which is good. Shows that a lot of financial interest is coming into the professional side of the sport, which is what we need. You know, it's amazing how when you have something well organized, well thought out, well presented, how many sponsors actually want to get on board with it. It's amazing how that works, right? But they had a lot, and you know, if you go to their website, they did a pretty good job in showcasing all the sponsors that they had and stuff like that. Let me go to their website real quick. I could just show y'all. So you can see Toyota, Instacart, Shark Beauty, August, Adidas, Ion, Halo, Tower 28, yada, yada, yada. Tiffany, obviously, with the crowns, Strava. It's even a continental tour meet now, which is another thing that did well, but I'm about to touch on that. Essential Water, that's dope. Get a water sponsor. Cash App, huge one. We got so much promo just from being able to say that they paid the athletes instantly. So not only did they get to take their petty shot at Grand Slam, and really the rest of track and field, but obviously the only people are talking trash about Grand Slam. But it's an easy sell. It's an easy way to market. Like, we pay instantly through Cash App. Easy sell. Why wouldn't Cash App want to be on board with that? And then finally, one thing that they did right, a lot of people said this is the best meet they've ever been to. You know, you got Rai Benjamin pulled up to the meet. Athlos was a great experience. And then the Olympic gold medalist in the 800. Keely, the best track meet I've ever been to, Athlos. And I think Lay said the same thing, Alicia Johnson. So clearly they're doing something right. The vibe's right. The athletes are happy. They treat them, they pamper them, they make them feel like actual star athletes, pro athletes, like they should. The entire field, too, not just the stars, the headliners, the entire field feels that same professionalism, that same superstardom, you know, just like in the NBA. It's not just LeBron and Steph that feel like superstars and KD and stuff like that. Like even the bench players, they still feel like it's an honor and privilege to be in the NBA because it is. It's a big stage. So being able to get lanes, it's a big deal. And I think they do a good job making them all feel special. Not throwing them at the back of the plane and give them roommates and stuff like that, like other meets do. But I digress. Okay, before I move on to the next segment, which is room for improvement, let's see what the comments are talking about. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Have them. I'm doing a lot more lives, y'all. I got more time. I'm in my off season, so I'm gonna come for more lives. Actually, I got a live coming up on Friday, and I'm doing it with Coach Rob. So usually I'll have Anson as a guest. He's the only guest I've had, but I'm going with Coach Rob on Friday. We're gonna talk some track and field. The Athlete of the Year candidates just got put out, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Athlos. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff for 2026. So tune in Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, going live with Coach Rob. But like and subscribe if you're feeling what's going on. Let's see what these comments are talking about. And it was the prelim of long jump, so every athlete got to jump in Times Square. Dope. Facts. That's another good point. Bringing Dawn on with Sonya to commentate was epic. Hey man, shout out to Dawn Harper Nelson. She brought the energy from for the World Championships with her posts on Instagram. If y'all don't know, go and follow her. She's really funny, really entertaining, and she's knowledgeable too. Obviously an Olympic gold medalist, and I believe she was a world champion too. So put some respect on her name. Great athlete in her time, but also a great entertainer. She should be on like NBC. She's great. So go follow her, check her out. Got to give her a shout out because she's good stuff. She got a follower out of me. Absolutely, definitely agree with you totally. I wish more legends in the sport got chances to give their perspective. I agree. I mean, from day one, I've been doing social media, like going hard on it since 2018. And back then, nobody was in this space. Now more people are seeing the power of it, and more people are growing their brands, especially with like NIL and stuff. So a lot of the college athletes are probably getting sponsored solely because of their brands. And it is important. Like I talked to the Nike reps and they told me it matters. Obviously, you know, if you have like 20 to 50K, they're like, it's really not really moving the needle for them. But if you can come with like, you know, 100, 150K, 200, 300K followers, that's built-in audience right there. Why wouldn't they want to sign you? And especially if you're good and they're deciding between someone who's good, someone might be slightly better, but you have a better profile, they're probably going to lean with you. So I wish more track athletes grew their brand. A lot of the legends are trying to get into it now, but like, you know, they're not very tech savvy or they're not that entertaining. They don't really know what they're doing and they could use some help. But like, you know, Gat has his podcast and that's been doing really well. It'd be nice to see other legends with that. You know, Safa Pal has his podcast on YouTube and stuff, and he's doing well. It'd be nice to hear from more people like that. Like, I'd love to see a Shelly Ann podcast. She's funny. She's got a great personality. So I agree. I wish more legends did it. And it's not too late. Things they did right. Long jump, Times Square, facts. Party scenery, facts. Paying athletes immediately, facts. Ticket entry prices, not too expensive. All facts. All facts. And they had a sellout crowd, so obviously they did something right. Marketing was right. Athlos event was awesome. Did you go? Dwayne, if you're still in the comment or still here, let me know if you went or if you just saw it on TV. Hopefully someone invites Shannon and Ocho to a meet. Yeah, obviously Shannon's a huge track fan. I'm assuming Ocho is too. I think his daughter does track and field. I've seen her at meets in Miami, so why wouldn't they pull up to a meet? Messiah's video release from today was a great recap of Athlos meet and treatment. I definitely got to check that out. I wish I saw that before the stream so I could, you know, play it here and plug it. But Anyways, I'll check it later. Queen Latifah and Gayle King was there. Amen. And a lot of the track athletes got to meet these people, and commingling with people who are stars. And they've seen a lot of us, the athletes, on TV, especially at the Olympics, or mainly at the Olympics. So a lot of them knew who we were. And that's dope. And then the cross between I saw what's her name? Suni Lee, the gymnastics girl. She was there. And then seeing her crossover, it's just dope, man. Uplifting from other fields. You're absolutely right. Bring Ocho and Shannon to the Star Athletics Camp 8, which you just might have to. I mean, he's interviewed half my team, it seems like, on his podcast, so you might as well pull up. Things they did wrong. Not showcasing Shelly's crowning live. Yes. I thought I missed it. And it was at the beginning because I tuned in late. But if they didn't show it live, yeah, that's a huge missed opportunity. Serena messing up folks. It was dope that Serena was there presenting, but yeah, she clearly didn't know anything. I think she said that Keely Hodgkinson was the world champion, and she gave a face like, you don't know what you're talking about. She called Tara Davis. Obviously, Tara didn't like that. Not allowing Paulino to speak to be. That was so funny because one thing that I was looking forward to when people won, when a Masai won or a Brittany Brown won, they're gonna turn up and do the thing. But I wanted to see when Keely won, when Faith won, when who's the other one? When Paulino won. I wanted to see if they're gonna dance. Tara Davis is gonna dance, but Tara Davis-Woodhall, my bad. But the other athletes, I want to see what they're gonna do. And when Paulino was up there, it was so awkward because they had her translator there ready to translate what she said, and they didn't even let him talk. They just okay, here's your crown. And then her Spanish translation never got translated. It's okay, now go dance. And then she just waved. That was funny. Serena being drunk already. Was she already drunk? That kind of makes sense. She probably was husband, Alexis, I don't really want to do this, but I'll do this for you to help you with your league. I'm gonna get lit when I do it though. When she kept talking about Sincoro, so clearly she was already lit off the Sincoro. As someone who worked for NBC, each minute of the meet is scripted, so athletes need to get their agents to be part of the planning over a month before their track meet. Good point. Shannon Sharp is a track fanatic. He and Ocho Cinco should have been there to do a nightcap live. Hey man, now you're talking. We'd have had that on. Was happy for track and field on the fits. Hell yeah. And that's the thing too, is the women are more likely to do the fits. So again, when Alexis was saying that the women hit harder than the guys, that's part of the reason why. Some of the guys got to come through. I know Kyrie is someone that will go and show his fits and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fashion guy, but I'll take a chance. Why not? If the opportunity is there, to showcase and take advantage of opportunity. At the end of the day, it helps build your brand and it helps make the meet more appealing, which will turn into more revenue down the road. So why not? But a lot of guys are I'm just here to run fast. And it's just okay, well, this is why we are where we are. There's only so many gold medalists that can be there. And then what? When you don't win, then what? What we got to show for it now? If you don't build your personality and your brand, but it is what it is. Showing tribute and crowning to Shelly and would have been truly a monumental moment for Athlos and for Paulino to have him privileged to heal Paulino's speech. I agree. That was a missed opportunity, especially if I saw her on CBS with Alexis talking about how they're going to give the tribute and stuff. And they talked about it on social media. So they should have for sure showcased that live on TV. I watched the meet on TV and saw the crowning. They didn't show it on the stream. Yeah, I like I said, I got to the stream late, so I thought I just missed it. But if they didn't show it on the stream, that's a missed opportunity. Oh my God, no, they didn't. Also, man, what channel did they show it on? That's another thing that they did right. I forgot to say that. They made it very accessible. So if you weren't there to watch it in person, they had it live on Twitter for free. They had it on YouTube for free. And then they had it on, I think they had it on ESPN, I want to say. And there was one more channel, I forget, but it was really accessible. And last year they did a good job with that too. I don't know the numbers from this year, but I know last year they got crazy viewership. And at one point, I think it said 800K on X. So make track free, Flow Track looking directly at you. Nickel and Diamond, your small audience of track fans and moms and dads who just want to watch their kids compete. Because the majority of the people who are watching Flow Track are watching the AAU meets and stuff like that. some of them, okay, might be tuning in for the Diamond League, but the majority of them are just want to see their kids run. And you're charging them $30 a month for FloTrack. Shame on you. I mean, it's what, $15 a month for Netflix with a huge catalog, way more people watching, and they're only charging $15. And you have the nerve to charge $30 a month to mom and dad who just want to see little Timmy run and jump at a track meet? What's wrong with you? You trying to kill the sport? We already had a problem with Americans finding Diamond League meets on TV. It's always hard to find track and field. And at least when it was on Peacock, people have that, you know, their local provider. But then you want to put it behind a paywall and have awful coverage where you're showing the meet and your angles are in the sky, like my grandma's filming. You know, a lot of dead space where you're just filming a wide track with nobody talking. And you have the nerve to charge $30 a month for that? Man, don't get me started. I'm going to have a whole episode on FloTrack. I call people out. I don't care. This is one thing I'm going to do with my platform. I'm going to call people out. When you're hurting the sport or doing something that I think could be improved upon, I'm not going to be afraid to call you out. It just is what it is. That's why I tweeted about the Diamond League and said, like, oh, I got to show that tweet later. But I keep referencing where I'm talking about how they have been paying the athletes small prize purses late, but all the smoke is going to Grand Slam. So they're all breathing a sigh of relief because they should be getting the smoke too. But you ain't getting past me. I'm calling you out, Diamond League, and I'm calling you out, FloTrack. Anyways, we need more free, accessible meets on TV for the pro track and field to grow. And then when you get the numbers, when people actually know that the meets are happening, and it's not just nickel and diming and eye gouging the small, loyal fan base of track and field fans, then you can start charging. And $30 too. Well, come on, it should be like $4.99 a month. $30. Anyways, love this for Brittany Brown. Hey man, $200,000 from 2 Athlos meets. Shout out to Brittany Brown, Brittany Crown. Let me hold $1. Thanks, Melanie. It was on Ion TV. That was the other one, Ion TV. And I agree they should have shown that. I didn't know World Athletics didn't let athletes promote the meets and championships. Yeah, bro, I'm a content creator. So sometimes I would post things back in the day. I mean, they've lightened it up now. They're allowing you to do it, and they send you the meet or the race footage right after the post and all that. So they're getting better. They're learning. But back in the day, they wouldn't let you post on YouTube. They would give you a strike, or not a strike, but like they would claim a copyright claim, and then you'd have to take it down. And just so they can hog all the views and have everybody come to them. And then they weren't even showing the full race. They would show it like halfway through, or like it's like 10, 20 seconds of a race, and you can't show the entire thing. It was so bad. But yeah, they're getting better. They're learning. I think they showed it on Ion. Okay. Yes, it's in the circuit as gold, I think. That's another thing that I did right too. Jeez, I'm forgetting my own notes. Let me go back. They are now Continental Gold status. So to the comment earlier that said it was like an exhibition, the points aren't an exhibition. Gold status is a big deal. That's a lot of points. So Brittany Brown's 2189 at a gold meet, she's going to climb up in the rankings for that. Watch. That performance is going to help her a lot in the rankings. And, you know, more and more athletes, as the standards get harder to achieve, are relying on the rankings, the world rankings to make world championships. So meets like this, they matter. You know, it is in October at the end of the season, but they're giving you a lot of points, a lot of money, and a lot of exposure. So another thing that did right was becoming a gold meet. Love long jump in Times Square. Cash App sponsor makes sense, of course. Too bad Shelly Tribute and Ciara Performance wasn't on the broadcast. Facts. Nor was long jump Times Square event. Yeah, that'd been nice. I mean, I didn't watch. I just saw the replay, but once I saw it was just going to be the prelims, I was like, I don't really need to watch. But the backdrop and the photos afterwards were iconic. It was on Ion. It came on earlier. I'm not in the US, so I don't have Ion. Do you feel the 6 lanes make sense? I mean, yes, for this event, it makes sense because I feel like it'd be hard to fill out all 8 with quality athletes. You know, you don't just want to throw anybody out there, especially with high prize money. So they pooled it so that they did top 6 athletes, focus on quality versus quantity over quantity. So they had fields that are generally pretty competitive and stronger, and, you can afford to pay the athletes more. But the main thing is it was in October. So how many people are you really going to get? You know what I mean? And then if you have empty lanes or you have to fill it in with somebody who's just off the street, it's like, okay, what are we really doing here? But next year, when they go to leagues, and they should move the calendar to when athletes are actually in season, you're gonna fill out those other lanes. You gotta do that, and I hope they do. Gatlin, WAKB, respect. Dylan, yes. Should move to a bigger venue. Hopefully, with the years they will. Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere, and I think that was something that Grand Slam could have learned from. You know, they came out the gate hot with 4 meets, or 4 intended meets. And, you know, Jamaica, that's a big stadium. It's going to be hard to fill, especially on a Friday when people are getting off work. There's a lot of traffic in Jamaica, and they just had champs like a couple weeks before. So people spend a lot of money and time there. You know, they're probably expecting all the Jamaicans to just fill up the entire stadium. But like the optics of it when having empty seats and stuff, it doesn't look good. So starting in a smaller, more intimate venue makes sense when you're just trying to get off the ground. And having it in New York makes sense at Icon Stadium. And you could see it looked a lot better when the meet for Grand Slam was at Miramar. It's a smaller venue, and the seats were packed. It looked better, louder crowd, looks better on TV. You know, sells a little bit more prestige of the event that people actually care and want to pull up versus empty seats. And then when they went to Philly, that one was good too. Great crowd. So it depends on where you put it, but yeah, I think you should start small and then grow as the tickets sell out and stuff like that. It just looks better, especially a vote of confidence for the sponsors to feel like this is something eventful. And I think if they started with Miramar instead of Jamaica, Grand Slam, that sponsor that pulled out, maybe they don't. Maybe they think, oh, this is selling out. This is a good sign. But I think they lost confidence partly because the stands were pretty empty and it looked bad at Jamaica. 26 Athlos League should be exciting. I believe it'll be Team Spikes brands. We're gonna get into that. Yeah, I love Serena, but she did mess up a couple things. I mean, she tried. And especially if she's drunk. just learn, do better next year. That's all I'm gonna say. Or get someone else. Maybe Dawn Harper. She's good. Yes, Hodgkinson last year. She was injured most season, I believe. Athlos and Grand Slam. Absolutely spectacular. It's keeping both going. Facts. Whole translator. He was up there looking like, y'all not gonna let me do my job. Introduces were fire. And it's such a simple thing too. The introductions were so good, and it's so simple. Just add a little smoke, give them the stage to, like, you know, do a little 1-2 dance, play some music. That's all you got to do. DAZN. That was another one that they showed it to. That's another one. What was that? But not worldwide. Okay. Preach. Make sure you cut this flow track part out in short because this was facts. Will do. What FlowTrack did. Hey man, don't get me started on FlowTrack. I've been mad at them for years. Can you believe USA charged to watch USA? No. Nickel and dime is never gonna work, man. You're just pissing off and squeezing your loyal fan base, which is small, and you're not gonna grow this way. Don't get me started. It is truly awesome. Okay. Let's get into the next segment. I didn't make my banners beforehand, so we're going to do it on the fly. Room for improvement. So in my notes, I have, this is the biggest one, being in October. So obviously the first 2 events have been in October, way too late in the season, or maybe it was late September last year. Either way, it was way after the fact, way too late in the season. So just the expectations going to this meet, it kind of seems like a party, a celebration of women, and that was great. You know, the first 2 years, just establish yourself. Hey, we got this 60 band prize purse on the line. Come, show up, have fun. You know, we're having a lot of entertainment here. We had Meg the Stallion, we had Ciara. It's this new hot shot league with all women. You know, it's a great thing, great opportunity. That's great for the first 2 years. We got to evolve. Okay, next year, and they're doing that. So kudos to them. They're doing the right things. But then I heard Alexis say that either Alexis said it or they tweeted on their page that they're always going to have it after the conclusion of the Diamond League circuit. So next year, that leads me to believe that it's going to be late in the season again. And I know they got the Ultimate Championships. So I don't know if they're going to put it after that. I hope not, because I think that one's late. I think that's in like September. But this is the down year. This is when you're supposed to take over the entire calendar. This is what we're supposed to look forward to next year. This is the opportunity. There's no world championships or Olympics, which we all know in track and field. Everybody's obsessed with medals and times. That's all people care about, is medals and times. You're not really going to generally get great times at the end of the season when you're running in October in New York. Even though we did, Tara Davis-Woodhall, she jumped really well. Brittany Brown PR'd. Who else? Keely Hodgkinson, 156. But for the most part, 1099 is cool, but you're not expecting much from the performance wise. So the casual fan of track and field is not going to look at this and be like, oh, I'm so excited for Athlos performance expectation wise. They're just going to look at it as like, oh, it's more, I get to see the stars compete again. So if you want to change that and make it seem like this is a serious thing that's actually like in the same ballpark as a Grand Slam, where Grand Slam came out the gate like, yo, we're not replacing, but they didn't say that. But the intent was we're going to be an alternative to the Diamond League. We're going to come in, offer way more prize money, way more visibility, a different concept where we have the athletes competing twice a day or twice a meet. We got racers, we got challengers, we got the racers who are going to come to each meet. We got the challengers who are going to be different each meet, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to announce that late, and they came out the gate hot, and the vibes when it was on point for Grand Slam was hot. It was very exciting to watch, especially after Philly. Like LA, if they did have it, would have been the crescendo. It would have been perfect, a perfect send off, and we would have been hyped for season 2. And obviously, we all know what happened, but they're building momentum, and that's because they're in the middle of the season, filling in the gaps between the Diamond League meets. And I don't know why Athlos is planning to be after Diamond League again, but just be a disruptor. You're already highlighting how much better you are than the regular meets. You've already, like, your whole messaging is that the women of track and field are superstars who deserve a stage to showcase their charisma, their personality, and their talent, which you did. And the other part too is you're saying that you're offering these women a prize purse that they don't have to get anywhere else. So if that's the case, why are you kind of conceding the prime time of the calendar to the Diamond League and Continental Tour? I don't get it. I know you're trying to play nice and you just got added as a gold meet, and maybe that's all they were waiting for, is that distinction as being a gold meet. And now they'll maybe put it during the calendar year, and I hope they do, because if you're a true disruptor, you should be competing with the status quo, with the Diamond League and the Continental Tour, and showcase why you're better. Get the athletes to choose your meet over those other opportunities because yours is that much better. I don't know why they're coming in kind of cowtailing and bowing down to the Diamond League and the Continental Tour, but that's something that I think can be improved, is their timing in the calendar, and it's such an easy thing to do. Empty lanes. So someone else mentioned that there was only 6 lanes, and then some of the empty lanes were there. I think optic wise, you can improve that next year. Like it is fine this year, but it does make it seem a little bit more exhibition-y. So filling out the lanes, making sure you're getting more quality, improving all those lanes. It's definitely possible. You show how fun the meet is. Nothing but positive things being said about your meet. Prize money's great. He said he's going to offer more money down the road. So this is definitely doable, just to fill those empty lanes. Stars competing. So we did have some good stars. Last year we had Gabby run. This year she's hurt, so she didn't run. Tara Davis-Woodhall was a good addition. She's one of the biggest names out there. Keely, 800-meter runner. That's good. Faith and stuff like that. But it's weird because a lot of the athletes promoting the meet, like you had 2 of your 3 athletes who are the face of your league next year not compete. At least Gabby competed last year. Like sha'carri's never even competed at this meet. And, with it being so late, they're going to make the business decision to preserve themselves and call it a season and worry about next year. So again, that goes back to being in October. Like if you want to have more star power, then you got to put it in a better time. That makes sense for the athletes. Why is a Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone not at this meet? Probably the greatest. I mean, in my opinion, she's the greatest female athlete of all time. what she's been able to do in the 400 hurls and then come and do this in the 400 meters, and she's only going to get faster. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets the 400 meter world record, and then if she has 2 world records, bro. Like, this girl is a generational talent, and we need to showcase her as much as we can. Why would she not be part of this? She's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and she's a female. So your whole messaging is about empowering the females. Like, why would she not? I mean, maybe she just turned it down, didn't want to, and decided to go with Grand Slam instead of this, and cool. But like, why not both? A lot of the other athletes did both. Gabby did both. Masai did both, you know. So like, a lot of the athletes are choosing to do both. Why didn't Sydney do both? I don't know. I don't know how that discussion went. But, you know, when not seeing sha'carri run, like, she's promoting the meet, it's cool. She did a little interview, that cool. She had a booth there, cool. You know, Melissa was there, fast woman in the world, historic season. It would have been nice to see her run, but again, you know, she's been killing it all season. She deserves a break. But part of that is because it's in October. If you had this meet in the middle of the season, in June, July, May, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden is pulling up. She's not afraid of anybody. And you saw what she did at Grand Slam. She could have brought that same energy to your meet. Instead, you know, she's out there promoting the meet. I'm also curious to see how they do this athlete owner thing. Like, yeah, you still, Tara Davis-Woodhall, Gabby Thomas, and sha'carri Richardson are great. You know, you can't really do much better than those three, having them being the face for this. But like, when you have someone emerging like a Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, you kind of want to make her an athlete owner now too. Do you take someone out, or do you just add her in, or do you not? You just pay her a lot to come race. How do you handle that? If Sydney does show interest next year, do you add her in? Do you make her an athlete owner? Take someone out? Just have 4 or 5 athlete owners now? Like, I don't know how they're going to handle that, but that's going to be something I'm going to pay attention to going forward, because a lot of the times in track and field, they're very, what have you done for me lately? So they give you like, let's say you win a medal. That medal will last you about like 2 years, maybe 3, depending on who you are. If you're a European, you might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of it. But like, for the Americans, I mean, I've seen it like immediately. If you don't medal again, you're not getting that same appearance fee. You're not getting that business class ticket over. You're getting a roommate, and you lose that appearance fee that you used to be getting. That amount, it goes down. So they're very quick to turn over. And I'm wondering if, you know, an athlete meet like Athlos is gonna be the same thing, where it's, what have you done for me lately? Or is it like, hey, maybe you weren't so hot this year, but you're still a superstar. You still have a great brand, which is kind of how it should be. You know, when LeBron gets hurt or Steph gets hurt, they're still LeBron, they're still Steph, you know? So maybe they didn't win the championship, maybe they didn't make the playoffs, but they still have the brand power, the brand recognition. So they should still be compensated. And I get it. The pool of money is small in track and field, or smaller, a lot smaller than the other meets, but generate more revenue. That goes back to the revolution of the league. And I think if more money gets funneled into the sport, more sponsors, more viewers, then things like that will get fixed, where now we could actually pay the stars their worth for their brand, even if they're not having the hottest season. And we could also pay the up and coming guys too what they're worth. So the new guy who just got the medal, they, instead of taking the money from someone else who was hot last year or the year before, and it's not rotating the money, it's just spreading it around, giving them money and them money as well, just like how they do in other sports. But we need to increase the pot. So when you have a meet like this that's seemingly doing well, coming in with more money, I'd like to see that. I have the crown is massive. So a lot of Serena was putting the crown a lot of the women's head when they're the winners, and it didn't fit. It was like falling off, and you're expected to dance with it, and they had to like kind of hold it up. And I get it. Like, you want a big crown to like say like, hey, this big Tiffany crown, like, it's so cool and expensive and whatever. But like, you could have made it a little smaller, a little bit more dainty, a little bit more fitted to their head. I just felt like it was like a massive crown, like low-key, some like king stuff. Like, you know, when football players win a Super Bowl and they have like that massive, gigantic ring, and it's just like the bigger the better in football, because it's just, I don't know, a manly thing to do. I feel like they did the same kind of thing with this, where it's like just a big ass crown, just throw it on their head, and it's like, okay, this isn't. I don't know. I don't want to sound, sexist or anything, but it didn't seem very like feminine. And this is like a female thing. This is all women meet, so I don't think that's sexist to say. I just feel like it could have been a more feminine crown. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Then I have snippet of Ciara performing. I would have liked to see that. I'm sure the people watching on TV would have liked to see that. Just give it a little taste. Maybe not the whole performance, just see a little, the 1-2 step or my goodies. Just a couple, show the crowd a little bit, turn it up. Just give us a taste. Let's see what the ambiance is like. Could at least did that. They just cut it off after the last race. And then the dancing after the win. That's my last thing. It's like, it was a little awkward. When the athletes didn't want to dance, but it gave me something to look forward to, which is fun. I wanted to say, okay, who's gonna dance? Are they awkward? What kind of move are they gonna do? How long they dance for? And obviously, like a Tara Davis-Woodhall or Masai Russell, they're lit. Brittany Brown, they're ready to dance. They're ready to turn up. This is what they do. But the other athletes, it got a little awkward. It's like, okay, they're not gonna dance. But I don't know. I like the dancing, so maybe that's not even a room for improvement. Just keep it in. It's just maybe give them something else to do if they don't want to dance. Okay, so that's room for improvement. Let me go back to my notes. What else do I have? Okay, got one more segment, and then we'll get up out of here. We're at 1:16 right now. We're doing good on time. Try to keep these things under 2 hours. Let's go back to some comments. But again, before we get there, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. Tell a friend about it. Pull up to future lives. Like, again, I'm going to plug it again. Friday, 8 p.m., going live with Coach Rob. We're going to be talking all things track and field. Wrap up 2025. Look forward to 2026. So tune into the live and subscribe for future lives. I'm in my off season, so got some more time to chat with y'all. Talk some track and field. Let's hop into these comments. Do you like night meets? I do. Me personally, I usually prefer night meets, especially overseas. I just got into a routine where I expect them all to be at night, because when you're overseas, you want to do times when people in America are awake. That's generally the fan base, North American, that they're trying to appeal to as well. So just from a timing perspective, I'm used to it being late. I just feel like it's cooler. The ambiance, running under the lights and stuff is fun. But if it's in a cold place, like, the UK, Northern UK, yeah, have it during the day. Eugene, have it during the day. Places that get cold at night, yeah, just do it during the day. But if it's going to be even remotely warm at night, yeah, night meets are the way to go. MJ knew 100% that Jamaican stadium wasn't going to be filled. Quite disingenuous to put that pressure of expectation on Jamaica, knowing the high school champs crowd is different from any other me. Yeah, I agree. And I think that might have just been oversight, like thinking that the Jamaican fans just love track and field so much that they're just going to all come out and support and pull up. And I don't want to denigrate the Jamaican fans and make it seem like they dropped the ball for not supporting it. But I did expect personally that there are going to be more people in the crowd in Jamaica. And after they, I think they dropped the price or made it free, or they did something. I can't remember, but yeah, I remember the other days on the weekend were better and more people showed up, which was nice. Again, they were saying like Friday, there's a lot of traffic, people getting out of school and off work and stuff like that. So that played a factor. And again, like you're saying, like champs, like it's not going to be like champs. Like champs has a lot of people from the schools in the crowd. So it's not just like casual fans. It's also like schools pulling up. And it's something that's entrenched in their culture. Like they've been doing champs for years. Ever since I've been in track and field, like they always said, oh, champs is the meet to go to because the track and field culture is so great and stuff. Like these people actually care about champs, like who comes and wins, whose school is the best. Like this has been a thing that they've been caring about for a long time. This is a new startup league. So they're not going to have that same incentive to pull up to the meet and care about who performs the best, because they're like, what is even Grand Slam track? Like a lot of people didn't even know what to expect. It was the first one. So, it kind of makes sense that it wasn't so packed. But these are things you learn in a startup league. If they want better performances, they have to disrupt the calendar. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that was a critique of mine. It's like, why are you just allowing just allowing Diamond League and Continental Tour to have the best time where the athletes can be peaked and ready to go. Why are you just giving them the calendar? If you want the best athletes to come to your meet, give them a reason to put them in prime time in the summer when athletes are ready to go. If it's after the Ultimate, it'll be after mid-September, so weather will give the same give or take, so performance will not improve that much. Yeah, I really hope it's not after the Ultimate. I mean, I'm looking closely for when they put it in the year, but if it's after the Ultimate, yeah, it's gonna be kind of the same vibe. If they just want an energy-packed event, then they don't really have to worry about that. True, but I think they want to actually be seen as a serious meet. Like it seems, and we're going to talk about the future of the league, but it seems like Alexis is liking the feedback, and he really wants to make this something that is entrenched in the sport. So it's not just like a one-off, like, hey, let's feel good, let's do something for the women, blah, blah, blah. It seems like he actually wants to revolutionize the sport. And the more good, positive feedback that he gets, the more sponsors and revenue he's making. And, you know, it looks good on him, too, to build something successful. You know, he said he's built billion-dollar companies before, so it's just going to be another notch in his belt. It seems like he really wants to be in it for the long haul. Melissa, I think, was scheduled at first. She was. And I trained with her, and, you know, she's my friend, so I know she had Athlos planned the entire year, but my coach didn't really want her to do it. He wanted her to focus on getting healthy or not getting healthy, but staying healthy, ending the season injury-free, and going and enjoying herself, not doing something silly where, you know, maybe you take some time off, don't take it as serious, don't train as hard, and then you go there and maybe get hurt. You know, I don't really think anybody went out there and got hurt, but he was just worried. He's just being cautious. And when you have a season like Melissa just had, like, why would you want to risk it? And that's ultimately why she decided to pull out and just, you know, go there to promote. But she did want to run. Like I said, Melissa's a competitor, another chance to increase the bag. You know, she just had her wedding, so that honeymoon fund's looking nice and beefy. And why not add another 60 bands to it? But yeah, she decided to call it. But yeah, you know, put it in a better time in the schedule. You're going to get more athletes choosing to go. That's where they can improve. If it's shoe company teams, would shoe companies have an objection to conflicting with the Diamond League? I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to see how that plays out. Sid would have won the 400, yeah. I mean, I would like to just see Sid out there. You know, even if she didn't compete, like she did what sha'carri did, where she's just supporting the meet. You know, get as many stars as you can. You know, obviously they had a lot of firepower now. And I'd say they got probably 4 out of 5 of the biggest women with Tara, Gabby, sha'carri, Melissa. Yeah, I think the only one they're really missing is Sid. You know, other athletes around the world are strong. But in terms of like brand power, I think those are the pretty much the biggest ones. So yeah, all you is missing is Sid. And I guess you don't have to be perfect and have everybody, because, you know, what league does everybody have everybody? Diamond League sure doesn't. People skip that thing all the time. So this would be nice, especially because it's in America and you want to support the startup league and just you know, get behind these startup leagues, bring more money to the sport. She paid with New Balance, plus she quote unquote filled her contract for the season, winning that gold at Worlds. I think he's talking about Sydney. And yeah, I get it. But even just to support, it would have been dope. But maybe she will next year. Who knows? She did support the Grand Slam track, so it is what it is. You know, maybe she hit her quota. Maybe she's like, all right, it's enough track and field for me. But even Sid, like, for a long time, I used to think, along with other track fans, that Sid didn't really like track and field. She was just kind of doing it because she's amazing at it. She would pull up to the meets, run fast, and then, you know, she would do like one random meet, maybe a Diamond League, maybe a random like meet in America, go to Olympic trials or World Championship trials, like USA's, kill it, go to Worlds or Olympics, kill it, and then out of here. And it's like, okay, she really is just in here just to do something for the year, show her talent, and then get out of here. But I think she was just waiting for the opportunity that made sense, money-wise and also opportunity-wise. And that's why she got behind Grand Slam. She signed on for 4 different meets, 2 races each. Like, that's a big deal, you know? So if y'all hate on the Grand Slam track, at least they got that done. That's something that Dimely can't say. She barely does those things. To be honest, those extra fees are bonuses when the main prize money is 60K. Top granted. Extra fees are bonuses. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But yeah, the top prize money is 60K, which is a lot of money. Almost as much as they get for winning worlds. Let that sink in. That's 70K. So 60K is right there. True. Not the best convenient. Not everybody a Messiah or a Tara. You're right. Not everybody. I mean, they're young too, right? So this is Messiah's second year. Tara's, I don't know what year this is for her. Maybe 4th, 5th, around there. And Tara especially, she's been wanting more of opportunities for field events. So she had to get behind this. Like, you finally get an opportunity to bring a field event in, and you're not going to take advantage of that. Make a quick 60 bands, but more than that, like, showcase that that long jump could actually be exciting. And there is a place for field under the prime time with these new startup leagues. Like, yeah, she had to jump on it. So I get it. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody's motivated by money, or maybe they're good. Maybe they're making enough, or whatever their reason is, playing it safe. Maybe they're dealing with injuries. Maybe they're just tired, had a long season. Everybody has different reasons. I'm just saying it'd be nice in an ideal world where I get what I want for the future of track and field, because I'm a track head. I love the sport. I want to see it flourish. This is why I talk about it. This is why I'm here on a Monday night with y'all, chopping it up about track and field. It's because I love it. By the way, that's another thing I got to plug too. I do have a live on Friday here on this channel. So subscribe and like this video so you get notified for it. But I'm doing my recap video for Trackside. So if you guys have seen me on that on CBC Sports, we're doing our recap video. We're going to have Melissa Jefferson-Wooden on there as an interview. We're going to have Obliquesville on there as an interview. Anton's pulling up. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about our picks and our predictions, see how good or bad we did. It's going to be a really fun show, our final show of the year, of the season, a recap show. So y'all don't want to miss that. We're filming it Wednesday. It's going to go live Thursday morning on YouTube, CBC Sports. So check out that. Forgot to plug that one too. Great commentary. Appreciate you. Thanks for pulling up. Another good show. See y'all next time. Melanie the Broker, I appreciate you. Always showing up. Take care. Have a good night. What do you think athletes could do to further the sport? I think they could just showcase who they are. Really just focus on growing their brand. And when opportunities come to promote the sport, just get behind it. Like Melissa did. Maybe it didn't make sense for her to run, but at least she went there, pulled up, and supported the meet, and did interviews on it, and was just there. Just her presence, more star power, more people pulling up to show what we have, the personalities that we have in the sport. It's all good. All hands on deck, man. Everyone just pull up. Like, I saw Noah Lyles was there, Rye Benjamin was there. Like, athletes actually showed up to support the meet, get behind it, and showcase the opportunity. And yeah, I probably should have been there too, to kind of help out and cover it. And maybe I could have did a live from the stands or whatever. I don't know, but I'm talking about it now. So I'm trying to do my part to make this seem like it's a big deal, and it could be the future of the sport. So what athletes could do is really just talk about it, pull up, show about it, compete, make it seem like a big deal, support it. Can we get billionaire philanthropists investing in Grand Slam? Yeah, facts. I mean, I don't see why not. See you next time as well. Some of the appearance. Oh, the appearance fee. Don't matter that much, I feel like. I mean, for some of the athletes, it definitely does feel. It matters a lot. A lot of people won't even consider a meet if they don't pay them their fee. So, but if the prize money is high, maybe they change their mind. But I just feel like for such a long time, it's been about the appearance fees, and prize money's been so meager that those stars don't really even care about the prize money. It's all about the appearance fee. So when you've been doing it away for so long, and your agents are used to it for so long, changing it to just higher prize money, less appearance fee, it's going to be harder for some people to adapt to it. I'm saying energy-wise for them regarding the celebration. Okay, dope, excellent. All right, last segment, y'all, and then we're gonna get up out of here. We're almost at the 1.5 hour mark, so Still making good time. Y'all let me know too. Are these things too long? Do you want them longer? Is it just right? Y'all let me know. Positive feedback or constructive criticism. I need it all. Comment in below how you like these lives, what you want me to talk about in the future. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep coming, doing what I've been doing, assuming that y'all like it. All right. So, future of the league. So, obviously, they're going team-based next year, like they talked about. And I really like the messaging that Alexis came with when he was talking about that on Nightcap. Well, let me see what this is. Oh, let me show this first.
My talk of the table is the Athlos NYC meet that took place right here in New York City. It was Friday night. It's the best female track and field athletes in the world. They were there. American, look at her go. Tara Davis-Woodhall dominated the long jump. It was so amazing, taking on the top prize and the Tiffany crown. And there she has a little celebration on stage after receiving the Tiffany crown, especially, look at her, from none other than Serena Williams. Number one, they had a sold-out crowd. This is the brainchild of Alexis Ohanian, who is married to Serena Williams, so it's sort of great when your wife can appear on stage, too, to help out. But Queen Latifah was there.
It was lit. I saw your Instagram. It was awesome.
Yeah, this is his second year doing it, but he said something really interesting. He said, every year I watch the Kentucky Derby, no shade on the Kentucky Derby. They make $150 million in profit, and we're cheering for horses. We don't know their names. We don't know the names of their jockeys.
Well, unless I got money on it, then I know.
But generally speaking,
you're right. I know what you're saying.
I hadn't thought of it that way, as opposed to these athletes who he said are at the top of their game.
So true.
And he wants to elevate and highlight it so it's just more than just the Olympics, which I thought, you go, Alexis, because it was a great event. And that Tara Davis-Woodhall, that jump was insane. 7.1 meters. People went, wow, which he did. That was my first track and field event.
It's fun,
really?
right?
It is.
Oh, okay, cool.
How many events, track events, has Gayle King pulled up to that she even knew about besides the Olympics? She just said it was her first meet. I mean, this is an introduction for a lot of like mainstream people to actually show up and come to a meet and be like, oh, this track and field thing can actually be entertaining. It's actually fun. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is the future of the league. So shout out to Alexis. That messaging is just spot on. The Kentucky Derby. Why is that more popular than track and field? I mean, come on. We're losing to like these other gimmicky sports. No shade. Like, I get it. Kentucky Derby has been around for forever. People go there to gamble, and they make a whole event of it. They dress up in their cowboy boots and their big hat, and the debutantes pull up and whatever, and they make it as something. But like, why can't we make track and field something like that, where it's an event where people show up and gather, and it's a social gathering, it's something cool, it's a status thing to pull up, like, I'm going to the track meet. That's what Athlos is. And I feel like that's the future model that we need to emulate and have more of that energy in our sport. And we just haven't had that before. This is CBS, Good Morning America, saying like how lit it was. This is a meet in October. Like, they don't know, like the track fans know, like, okay, this is more of an exhibition thing. We're not expecting much from the performances and stuff like that. We had the world championships already, so this isn't really high stakes, but like, I doubt those people on that panel even know that the world championships happened, unless someone told them in their notes. I'm damn sure they didn't watch. You know what I mean? So, and I really am damn sure they didn't watch the Diamond League or the Continental Tour. I can say that with confidence, especially since Diamond League is gatekept behind FloTrack, other than Prefontaine. But don't get me started on FloTrack again. But yeah, man, how often do you see our sport shown like that on TV? I just thought that was dope. And they showed the right athlete, Tara Davis-Woodhall, turning up and showing that she's getting the crowd lit and stuff like she always does. That's why she's important for the sport to have her in there. It was a great move to include her. But yeah, that's one video that I wanted to show. Then there's another one. I think it's this one.
Plan for next. The NBA season is about to start, and watching on TV will look a little different this year. That's because in 2024, the league signed a new media rights deal, meaning big broadcasters will now pay billions over the next decade for rights to air games on TV and streaming. With the new deal, those rights are split between 3 partners: NBC here in green, Disney in red, which owns ABC and ESPN, and Amazon Prime Video in blue. Now, each partner gets its own share of games to show, and each column on this chart represents one of those networks, with every row showing a day of the week. On Mondays this season, Peacock will stream doubleheaders. Tuesday games will be on NBC, Wednesdays on ESPN, Thursdays on Amazon Prime, Fridays on Prime and ESPN, Saturdays on Prime and ABC, then finally Sundays on ABC and NBC. Bear with me here as we layer in the special games this season, which look like this. Tip-off night, October 21st, will be on all 3 networks, same with the NBA Cup. Christmas Day games just on ESPN and ABC here, All-Star on NBC and ESPN, playoffs on all 3, and then finally the NBA Finals on ABC. Okay, that's a lot, but here's what it means for the league. Last season, there were 172 nationally televised games. This year, that number jumps to 247, about a 44% increase, in the NBA's way of putting more basketball in front of more people across the country. It gets interesting when we look at individual teams, with this next chart showing a blue bar for every team representing how many of their 82 games will be shown nationally this season. At the top is no surprise, with the Lakers, Warriors, Thunder, and Knicks each with 34 nationally broadcast games. Then at the bottom are teams like the Raptors, Wizards, and Jazz with just 2 each. Now, if we mark last year's totals with these black lines in the middle, we can see who gained and who lost the most since the change. The Rockets here jumped from 3 to 28 national games. The Thunder added 19, and both the Pistons and Cavs gained 15. On the flip side, the Suns will lose 10, while the Sixers and Pelicans each will lose 7. This change is a big deal, as it comes around once every decade or so in these leagues, and with this change comes big money. Last season, the NBA's total estimated league revenue was just over $10 billion, made up of national revenue here in blue, ticket sales in red, sponsorship in green, local media in orange, and the other stuff in gray. With this new deal we just discussed, that blue bar almost doubles, and even if all the other buckets stay exactly the same, the total league revenue rises roughly 40% overnight this year. It's a massive shift for the leagues, the teams, and the players who will soon see those increases reflected in the salary cap and their contracts. A lot of people have a lot of different thoughts on these kind of deals, but the main thing to know is that the NBA will look a little bit different this year on TV. Follow from our sports data.
Okay, that was a little long, but I hope you guys found that entertaining. I like it because there's a breakdown, very good graphics and stuff like that, but more so the explanation. This is why the league, like an NBA, makes as much as they do. Anytime you see the record-breaking deals on TV and the little ticker down below, like such and such signed for the highest ever for a guard or the highest ever for whatever player, those record-breaking deals are because of the TV deals that keep getting done. If we ever want to even sniff something like that in our sport where the revenue is going up, this is how we have to look. So it looks like an Athlos getting more TV deals and stuff like that, increasing the amount of meets that they have. It looks like a Grand Slam coming back and being on, big channels and stuff like that, where they're competing for being able to showcase it on their networks. This is how we get the revenue. Who is fighting to show Diamond League meets? Come on. The highest bidder, at least the one that won out last year, was FlowTrack, and we regressed. We used to be on NBC, and then it was on Peacock, and now we're on FlowTrack behind a paywall, a $30 paywall, where only track fans and moms and dads wanting to watch Little Timmy are signing up for that. You know what I mean? So clearly we're not doing anything record-breaking with the Diamond League, at least in America, in terms of revenue from TV deals. Maybe over in Europe they are, because it is a worldwide sport. But if we ever want something over here in North America that's even remotely similar to what they got going on in the NBA and the NFL and stuff like that, where they're able to pay the athletes more because there's more athlete revenue being there's more revenue being generated. That's what it looks like. So when I'm talking about the future of the league, I love to see the fact that Alexis is out here promoting, talking about, what the sport could be, what it should be, revolutionizing it. And, this is what we need to see. So I'm a business guy. And so when I see stuff like that, I like to share it. Not a lot of people talk about the business side of track and field, but when you come to my channel, this is what you get. A lot of parallels with other sports that do it successfully, and then apply it to track and field and how we can get to that stage. So hope y'all like that. If not, hey, you don't have to watch. I hope you do. Shout out to y'all for sticking around for this long. We're at an hour and 40. I got one more video. This one's a little bit quicker, and then we'll get up out of here. I'll touch up on any comments that I missed, and we'll call it a Monday night. But this is the video from Alexis.
Next year, we've announced it'll be a team-based track and field league. We're going to have multiple meets in major cities. Think of it like the Formula One of track and field. Companies like Mercedes and Ferrari, they have F1 cars. They spend tons of money basically for marketing. You could think of some great apparel brands that want to be associated with speed and excellence. So imagine those as teams. You've got so many of these champs that now get to share a team, not just around the Olympics, around a nation, but around a brand. If you are any of these other brands, you want to win. If you're Ferrari, you want to make sure you're holding up that trophy at the end of the season. And these brands are incentivized now to build out that roster and to support those athletes in marketing as well as in physios and all this other stuff. And if I watch Mercedes win a Formula One race, it incentivizes me to want to buy a Mercedes sedan. So imagine if I'm a sneaker company, how much it would mean to me to have the top Athlos team and what that means to move sneakers to everybody else. Whether you're running your 100th marathon or you're doing your first 5K, you want to feel like the best to do it. Plan for next year, we've announced.
I love so much about everything you just said. That's him on Nightcap. I don't know how we haven't done this in the past, but like team-based, just like Formula One, saying we want to be like F1. We always have brands competing. Who's got the best spike? Who's got the best athletes? But like, there's no competition directly between them. Outside of the Olympics and World Championships, like when you go to a Diamond League meet, right? All their motto right now is to get as many diverse athletes in each event from around the world, so that countries around the world, the networks from around the world, want to show the meet in their country because they have a representation or they have representation from an athlete from that country there, right? So like a CBC Sports in Canada, if I'm at a race in the Diamond League, they got an incentive to want to show it because they got an athlete there representing Canada. And so the Diamond League is always showing different countries. But this is not the Olympics. This is not the World Championships. We're not competing in our Canadian gear. So why are we highlighting so much that we're competing for Canada or the US or Jamaica or whatever? That doesn't really matter. We're all wearing our sponsor kit, right? I'm wearing Nike. They're wearing Adidas. They're wearing New Balance. They're wearing Asics. They're wearing On. Why isn't that not the focus? Just like in Formula One, when you have Mercedes versus Ferrari versus whoever else. I don't really watch it, but clearly it's successful. And then you look at NASCAR. NASCAR cars are plastered with sponsors all over it. Motocross, same thing. All plastered with the sponsors, whatever. And it's because that they're fighting for real estate on your body to be showcased when you compete. So like, why is that not the focus when we go to these meets? So like when he said at Athlos, I love what he said about the Kentucky Derby, where like we don't really know the horses, but we still care about it, still care about the race, and mainly because of gambling. Let's be honest. But like we're humans, where you actually know us. We can talk, we can communicate, we can show our brands, we can show our personality. And we're also competing against each other so that you can gamble on it. Like we need to highlight gambling more and also incentivize the brands to want to invest money into the sport because they're competing to see who's the best representing them. Brand versus brand, just brand versus brand, just like Formula One. This is the future of the league. And I'm so glad we got someone with a business mindset finally advocating the ideas, because the athletes talk about this. I've said this before. I have so many different ideas of how we can revolutionize pro track and field, but like me saying that is just like cool. Like maybe people are like, yay, yeah, it's a good idea. But like this guy, he's got money in his pocket. He's got connections. He's got resources. He's got the means to actually put something like this in motion. So it's one thing for me to say it and throw it out there in the ether, but this guy could actually make it happen. He's making those conversations. He's getting on ESPN. Like he was on ESPN, checking Stephen A. Smith about what he said about him and his wife and giving marriage relationship advice. But beyond that, he was out there promoting the sport. He's promoting Athlos, which is indirectly promoting pro track and field. Well, not indirectly, it is promoting pro track and field. You know, so having like a guy like that on our side is great. And I just wish that him and Michael Johnson and whoever else is responsible for Grand Slam could all just be on the same side. I want to see them merge, but even if they don't want to do that, they want to keep themselves separate, just work together in tandem to bring new ideas to pro track and field, revolutionize the sport, modernize it, get us up to like 2025 standards, make it more entertaining, try different ideas. Hey, I'm gonna throw some more ideas out there. I'm gonna come with some future lives where I'm talking about my, big brain ideas. Because I've talked about this, and we talked about this at my practice at Star Athletics. Because all we want to see, as athletes is the sport grow, more revenue, more opportunities. This is how you get to what I showed in the video prior to this, where you have the TV deals and, the Amazon Primes and the Disneys and, the other networks all competing, the TNTs, for your product to showcase it on their network. We need to be entertaining enough and, garnering enough mainstream attention for them to want to do that. And I think this is the future of the league. So shout out to Alexis, man. You're doing the thing for our sport. Great to have you on our team. And I'm happy we got Athlos. I'm excited to see what the team league looks like next year. They're 2 for 2 so far. And I hope they go 3 for 3. And then in the future, bring in the men. Hope I'm still around and running by the time they bring in the men, so I could pull up and, get a little bag. But even if I don't, man, I'm just excited about the future of the sport. And I think we're heading in the right direction. Finally, after all these years, I've been running for over a decade, and it just seems like the prize money hasn't changed. And, inflation's going up, prices are going up and everything. And the prize money is not keeping pace. So you just got to keep running faster and beating other people. And it's just a crabs in a barrel mentality. We're all fighting over the same scraps. It's just like, why is the pot not growing? Every other sport's growing. They can introduce pickleball. Pickleball is taking off and being shown on TV. Darts is being shown on TV. Like the Kentucky Derby with horses and stuff is more popular. Like everything is eaten except for us. It's time we change that. And I think we're on the right path. But shout out to Athlos, man. Y'all did your thing. Like the vibes. I'm feeling it. So this is my recap video of it. Get into the comments and then we'll get up out of here. Okay. 1 to 1.5 hours is great. Would be cool if you had guests like Fred, Grant, Melissa Jefferson, even Anderson from the Fine Leg. Hey, that's something I'm gonna do for sure. I just want to build it up the pattern so people expect me to go live. And they know like, okay, they're going live. Usually it's gonna be Mondays and Fridays that I go live. So y'all can look out for that. And as I get my viewership up and more numbers up, then it makes more sense to introduce these people and make this more of a poppin' thing. And I definitely plan to do that. So 1 to 1.5 hours noted. We're a little over that. Typically it's been around 2 hours, but I could try and make it shorter. It's just, when I get to talking, man, and then answering all the comments, I try to answer everybody. But eventually I'll have to limit how many comments I can answer if I want to get it down to 1 to 1.5 hours, especially if I bring a guest. We're going to be talking a lot. But good feedback. I mean, it's from Sinisa, first meet as well. There you go. A lot of people's first meet is Athlos. Let that sink in. How long track and field on the pro side's been around? How many down leagues we've had? How many continental tours we've had? Like we've had continental tour meets in New York City. But a lot of these people, these celebrities and stuff like that, Queen Latifah pulling up, Gayle King getting her first meet. It is what it is. Just got to make it more entertaining, more enticing, more of a celebrity draw. I like it that you leave these up so we can come back and watch if you're late and have to leave early. Hey, I do that so that I can get more content out, so I can make it an actual post. But what I'm going to try and do is have an editor cut these down and, funnel back to the actual live, like the long version. But I'm going to try and cut down some of the segments so that people can, digest the shorter videos. And if they like that and want to be a part of the conversation, they can watch the longer video. But I'm glad you said that because sometimes I don't know if these are too long to put up anyways, but I just throw them up. Why not? There's an honest answer why track isn't bigger, but it doesn't sound good. What's the honest answer? I mean, we need to have the tough conversations. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't sound good. We tough love, man. Like, we love the sport. We want to see it grow. Sometimes you got to say exactly what the problem is before you can change it. Yeah, but it's really a one-off annual event. Horse races aren't more hyped overall. Okay. But I just feel like there's more money in there because there's more gambling interest and more people just know that it's around. Like, the Kentucky Derby is pretty famous, at least in North America it is. So I feel like we can get there. And then you got like Formula One and NASCAR. Like, you got those big races in Monaco and stuff like how many meets have that prestige where you know it's something that like is big, even if you don't follow the sport. Like, I really don't follow golf. I watched this Netflix show, I can't remember what it's called, but it showed golf, and that kind of got me more interested into it because I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know they're making this much money. I didn't know this is dope. Like, I started to learn some of the people, some of the golfers, and I still don't watch golf, but like, if I see it on the ticker, I'm like, oh, I remember him. I remember his story, his background. I got to know him, whatever. And we have that with sprint. So I got to showcase some of the sprinters and stuff like that. And I think mainstream people love that, and got to know some of the protagonists going into the Olympics and stuff like that. But how many of those prestigious events do we have in track and field where like the mainstream actually knows outside of the Olympics, like, this is happening? Like, where's our Masters? You know what I mean? Like, the Diamond League final isn't what it's supposed to be. It's not what it was billed to be. It's just another meet on the calendar where you can make a little bit more money. It should be a prestigious meet. Like, I had the idea of super Diamond League meets, like, just have the 4 legacy ones, you know, like Brussels, Zurich, Lausanne, maybe Berlin. There's the other one that I'm forgetting. That's a big meet. Like, Celestia did really well this year. Just have super Diamond League meets and then promote those. You know, instead of having all of them on the same playing field, have ones that you elevated and like really promote those to the mainstream so that we know, like, okay, this is like Kentucky Derby. You know what I mean? Like, this is a big deal. We need the mainstream to actually think like, okay, even if they don't follow track and field on a day-to-day basis, they know a big event is happening in track and field. And Athlos right now is filling that for the casuals. Like, they actually heard of it. They're like, oh, this Athlos thing is. So if they see it next year, they're going to remember like, oh yeah, Ciara performed there, Meg's performed there, Gail King pulled up, Queen Latifah pulled up. You know what I mean? So like, it's just making it seem more prestigious. And we need that mainstream where people actually know, like, I got to watch this event because every year this event is lit. And we have lit events in Europe. And I think this is the problem too, is like a lot of the problems that I'm highlighting are more North American problems. But Sebco has said that he wants to break into the North American market and be the 5th most popular event or sport in the world come the LA 2028 Olympics. So if we're ever going to even get close to that, we're not even like top 20. If we're going to get even close to that, then this is how you do it. North America is the market you're trying to penetrate. You got to come harder, bro, because there's a lot of competition over here. So yeah, it works in pockets in Europe, like certain countries. It's really popular. Stockholm, that's the other one I was forgetting. Stockholm is always good. Oslo is always good. And so yeah, there's not a lot of competition over there. There's not a lot of huge meets that are events and sports that happen over there. So there's not. Yeah, they are a big deal. And Europe generally works over there. They like that model of how it's been. But if you want to penetrate this North American market, bro, got to come harder. If only track and field TV rights was competitive. I know, right? It's not even close. They're like, it's like, who's going to take this? Like, it's almost like a burden. Like, somebody take this. Somebody stream us, please. You know? But other sports, they're having a bidding war. Yeah, out here in France, we got all the Diamond League meets, Continental Tour, and Indoor for free since this year on top of regular World Championships and European Championships. Start with free, build the audience, and then try to monetize. We're doing it backwards. It's not rocket science. It'll be 14 based then, because ain't no way Saucony making it. I mean, it starts like that, but then if other teams want to break in, if a Saucony wants to break in, just pay up, pay more money. Like, we can see On has signed a lot of athletes lately. So they're clearly pouring and investing a lot of money into the sport, which is great to see. But historically, yeah, it's been New Balance, it's been Nike, it's been Adidas. And, you know, maybe an Under Armour decides they want to get into the game. On clearly wants to get into the game. Puma, I'm forgetting Puma. That's another major one. But, you know, if you guys want to come in and get into the space, showcase that you got great products that athletes can wear. And imagine you sign like the next hot guy out of college, and he goes out there and wins in his first year in your Converse spikes. Look at what that'll do for Converse, you know? You could say like, hey, we have the Converse, our Sprinter and Converse spikes just beat the top Nike team, top Adidas team, top Puma team, top Under Armour team, top On team. Yeah, go get you some Converse, bro. It's win-win. You can guess the four, surely. Yeah, I mean, Puma, Nike, Adidas, and New Balance. To be honest, I still have yet to see how it could work out. Skeptic, but optimistic. All we can do is try. Maybe it fails, but you know what's better than failing? Or sorry, you know what's worse than failing? Is never trying anything new. Just doing what you're doing over and over and having a slow death where you just get smaller and smaller and smaller and become more relevant and more relevant as years pass and as time goes on. And that's the trend we've been on. We've got to do something to reverse trajectory. You know, try something new. If Grand Slam never comes back, at least they tried something new. The blueprint is there. So at least because people can see what worked, what was successful, what people liked, take that and apply it to a new league. But if we never try things, we never experiment, we never sample, how are we going to know what can actually work? Where you can sell to an investor. You know, we're always going to think, oh, that will never work. It sounds nice, but oh, never. But if we actually go out there and try, put some money behind it, and then bring a vision to life, then we could see if it can be successful. People might have said Athlos would have never worked. People might have said an all-women's league, that sounds stupid. That'll never work. Track and field historically has been inclusive of everybody. That'll never work. People said Grand Slam will work because, oh, only track? What about field? It'll never work. You got to have both. But the blueprint is there. It can work. It can work. By the way, an all-field meet can work. You just have to have the right marketing, the right people to get behind it, the right people supporting it, enough money behind it, put in the right places, have the right market, right time of the year. These things can happen. These things can work. Just got to try things. I want to see Athlos and Grand Slam track come together. Me too. Me too, man. How dope would that be if they combined and just had like 8 meets during the year, 10 meets during the year? Pool the prize money together. Oh my God. Could take over, man. Tariffs on top of that. Trust me, bro. How would GBI about track meets on Friday? Call it Friday Night Spikes. Ooh, that's nice. I like that. Someone should take that. Friday Night Spikes. That's a good name. Can make a Netflix documentary with that one. Investing in a 10-second race feels underwhelming. You watch a favorite for less than min 6 times a year. Well, we got to find a way to bring more value. And yeah, the race is 10 seconds, but there's other ways to showcase it to make it more appealing on TV. Like Athlos and Grand Slam came with like the features where they go to their house or their track and show them like how they work out or like who they are personally off the track and stuff like that. Like, you know, there's other ways to do it. Maybe they go a little bit longer with intros, maybe even show the warm-ups. I thought this would be a dope idea too, is bring a camera to the warm-up area and like, you know, maybe people are in their zone. They don't want to do interviews beforehand, but I know Grand Slam track tried to do that. And Athlos did that where people were being interviewed before they went out to compete. Like I know I saw Brittany Brown and I was like, damn, is she not running? Because they interviewed her right before the 200. And then she's like, oh, I got to go race. Like if you make that the norm, other sports do that before they go out and compete. Like that's more opportunities for you to showcase the athletes. And we can think about things outside of the box. Like, yeah, the race is short, but maybe like Grand Slam had everybody competing in 2 races. Like that's part of why you could sell like, yeah, they're going to be running multiple races. You get to see them multiple days. I think there's more ways. Like what if we add in the relays, you know, for sprint events? It's another race that we can run. That's kind of low stakes. It's cool. We can mix and match. Like what if we do racers versus challengers or like have like a draft? Like think about like we have a pool and then everybody drafts from the team to you know, we have captains and they're making their Grand Slam relay team or whatever competing at. Like there's different things we could do to provide more value. We just got to think outside the box. When we're stuck into the same mentality of here's the 100 and then here's the 2 and then here's the long jump and like, yeah, then we're only showcasing 10-second events and it's very underwhelming, but like there's more things we can do. Just got to be creative. Waiting to see sha'carri or Noah and having to watch throwers grunt. Man, what? Most people don't like field, but we got to watch to see what we want. And having to watch the... I don't really know what you mean by having to watch throwers grunt. Maybe you mean like it's a different fan base. Like people only want to see sha'carri or Noah, and then they got to... Okay, I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm a proponent for separating the events. I'm going to be honest. I think right now we even got to just track mostly in Athlos. Like they only had one field event with the long jump, but it was mostly just track events. And then in Grand Slam, obviously, we only had track. I think we could go even further. I think we could separate distance events from track. I mean, it could work because it helps to fill in the gaps. But if you want to tighten up the broadcast even more, you just go all sprint. Because the fan base for these events is vastly different. Think about someone who likes the 100 versus somebody who likes the throws versus someone who likes the 10K. It's completely different athletes. Their personalities are different. And the fan base is different. So we could separate even more. And yeah, bring them all together for the Olympics and all together for the World Championships. But we can break it down even more. And then when it's neater, when the advertisers know exactly what they're getting, and it's not just general track and field, it's like very specific, like sprinters, throwers, jumpers, distance runners. It's a much easier sell. So think about it. Like, for example, if we just said all jumpers, it's a jumps meet, right? Think about how like a sponsor like the Energizer Bunny with Duracell, easy sell because they're jumping high. It's the Energizer Bunny. They keep on going, or maybe that was a bad one. But you guys know where I'm going. Like, I can't think off the top of my head, and I'm trying to end it. I'm trying to wrap this up. We just passed 2 hours, but you guys see where I'm going. Like with all throws meet, you can make it like the strongest man in the world competition. Have like a weight company sponsor the meet. You know, it's just a lot neater. You know, being more specific, being more niche. It's a lot easier to sell. I think that's where we can go and increase revenues for the athletes. And they get more time in the sun. Like how many times do you watch the broadcast and you're waiting for your event? So maybe you tune in for the 400, let's say. And you're having to sit through all these random events. And it's like, okay, now it's the 5K, all the 3K steeplechase. I don't really care about that. Oh my God, when's the meet going to come on? When's my event? But if you have it just separated, so it's like only the events that you care about, it's easier to sell. So anyways, someone needs to invest in Grand Slam. It's a great product. The division doesn't help. I agree. Have Melissa and Rep Queens. Yeah. I mean, she loves Grand Slam, so she's a proponent. She grabs Athlos. She loves Athlos too. Billionaire representation for GTSC. Yeah, we need it. And my voice, I'm losing a little bit. I got to get out of here. Okay, a couple more comments, and then we're getting out of here. A lot can be done before and after the races, but I'm not sure about those right before the race. They felt rushed. Yeah, I mean, you go just like I said, you never know until you try. If it doesn't work, try something else. That's always my mantra. We wanted to watch short sprints, then it comes to this because I hate it. Plus 2-day events don't work well, and it just rounds. Yeah, okay. Make it 1 day, maybe condense it more. When I feel like when Grand Slam switched from 3 days to 2, it worked a lot better. Like 3 days is a bit much if you're not at a championships like the Olympics or World Champs. Cash App sponsor made sense, for example. Yeah, I agree. Okay, y'all. That's enough for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, I appreciate you guys sticking with me on this live. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a blessed night. Thursday, stay tuned for Trackside. It's going to be a lit recap video. CFC Sports, tune in, check me out with my co-host Perdita. It's going to be a good show. Like, again, we're going to have Melissa on there. We're going to have Oblique on there. Anson's going to be on there. It's going to be a fun, funny show wrapping up the season. And then Friday, going live here on YouTube, Aaron Kingsley Brown with Coach Rob, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned for the next live. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, too. Did you watch Athlos? What was your favorite event? And what's the future of track and field look like? Do you want to look more like Athlos? Do you want to see something else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Spam the comments. Smash that like button. Destroy it. I'm out of here. Y'all have a blessed night. Take it easy.